We all hit those moments where God's path seems completely hidden from view. We pray, we search, we beg for clear signs. But the truth is, faith isn't about seeing the whole staircase. It's about trusting enough to take the first step when you can't see where it leads. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded with voices telling us to trust ourselves above all else. Society pushes us to be self-reliant, to figure everything out on our own. But what if the wisest move isn't relying on our limited perspective? When we seek advice, we often end up more confused with conflicting opinions from friends, family, and yes, even Google. The digital age has transformed how we search for spiritual guidance, but it hasn't made finding God's direction any clearer. What if the real breakthrough happens when we stop demanding a complete roadmap and start embracing the mystery of faith? Most of us want God to reveal His entire plan up front. We crave certainty and guarantees. But throughout history, faith has never worked that way. Biblical figures like Moses and David didn't receive detailed life plans. They got just enough light for the step they were on. Abraham was simply told to go to an unknown land with only a promise to guide him. Joseph couldn't possibly have understood how his suffering would lead to salvation for his family. Ruth followed Naomi into uncertainty, having no idea she would become part of the lineage of Jesus. Each of these stories shows us that faith develops in the dark spaces between what we know and what we don't. Jesus himself modeled this approach, constantly withdrawing to pray and listen, rather than racing ahead with his own agenda. Even on the night before his crucifixion, he surrendered to the Father's will despite the painful path ahead. This pattern shows us something profound. Divine guidance is rarely about seeing the whole journey at once. What if being lost is actually part of God's design? We're so fixated on knowing the destination that we miss the beauty of the journey itself. Think about the times you felt most alive. Weren't they often moments of stepping into the unknown? That first day at a new job, moving to a new city, or starting a relationship? The uncertainty makes you more attentive, more present. God often works the same way in our spiritual lives. When the path is unclear, we pay closer attention to His voice, become more dependent on prayer, and less confident in our own abilities. Maybe uncertainty isn't a problem to solve, but an invitation to trust more deeply. When you can't see beyond your next step, you're forced to rely on something greater than yourself. This approach transforms our relationship with God, from demanding answers to developing deeper faith. The disciples faced this same challenge when Jesus called them to follow Him. They left everything behind without knowing where the path would lead. Peter stepped out of a boat onto stormy waters, focusing only on Jesus rather than the impossible task beneath his feet. The early church spread across hostile territory without a strategic plan. Just faithful obedience to the next step. Instead of asking, "Why isn't my path clear?" try asking, "What might God be teaching me through this uncertainty?" The fog of confusion often lifts not when we figure everything out, but when we surrender control. What if your current confusion is actually the perfect classroom for developing trust? Remember, even in nature, growth happens in darkness. Seeds push through soil before seeing sunlight. God reveals your path one faithful step at a time. So the invitation is to consider your next step carefully while asking the Lord for guidance, trusting that He will lead you in the right direction. Trust the journey and trust the Lord, even when you can't see the destination. For more inspiration on your journey and your next steps, see my other videos on living a life filled with God, faith, love, and purpose. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Before I end this video, I would like to add here that I have written a pocket-sized waterproof End Times handbook. It is something I give away for free. It is a free download that you can print on your own, or you can send me your address, and I will send you a free waterproof copy. They are printed high quality with very tough edged seal lamination, so only a fire would damage them. How else will they last up to and through the end times? I have 50 of them left in stock. I will print more as soon as I am able. If you would like a copy for yourself, look in the video description below for details. I would like to add here that I work a 9-to-5 job and live paycheck to paycheck. So if someone feels inspired, I could use help with the printing and shipping costs of the handbook. Keeping it completely free for people is very important. No one should have to pay for things like this. So if you are able and would like to help in this endeavor, please see how in the video description below. This would help me be able to print and ship more of them to more people, or someone may want a larger number to hand out themselves.